everybody. This is Kevin, your host for Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. And this is episode number 88. So we're getting close to 100. Maybe Sarah will be on the 100th episode. I always start off my podcast by saying that if you're a real estate agent or a vendor that operates in the Fort Bend County area and you want to be on the podcast, give me a call, 832-654-0527, or email me at kevin.davidson@stewart.com. We'll be happy to get you on the schedule. And I always thank my support team, Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Cornick, Devaney Devon, Van Wynn, and Kate Cannon in Richmond, and all of our support team. For them, if it wasn't for them, the podcast would not be possible. So in saying that, let's get started. This is episode number 88. We're only going to have one guest this episode, but that's okay because it is the returning, the great, the ever popular Sara Goetz.
Hello.
From Walzel Properties. Real quick, tell everybody what you're working on right now. You got something going up in Onalaska, Texas.
In Onalaska, yes. I've been making my way across South Texas, and finally we have found somewhere in between South and North Texas.
I was going to say, Onalaska is not South Texas, but it's actually
east.
No,
it isn't. We've driven lots and lots of miles. So, yeah, Polk County.
Yeah, and you live in Richmond, so that's not like right around the corner.
No. On Wednesday, we drove from Richmond to Livingston to Onalaska to Conroe to Willis to Spring. It was all over the place, over 450 miles.
In your brand new Lexus?
In my new Lexus, yes. I was like, oh my gosh, the miles are racking up.
Yeah, they are racking up. I can see the dealership.
And I've done so good in keeping my miles like good, but no.
I can see the dealership in the future. Hey, time to trade it in.
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody who you are and what you do. You're a top producing real estate agent in the Fort Bend County area, and you tell your story.
I am from Fort Bend County. I love Fort Bend County. I know Fort Bend County pretty much like the back of my hand because I've lived here all my life. So I love helping buyers and sellers in Fort Bend County and surrounding counties. I like Wharton County also, Sugarland, Richmond, Rosenberg, Needville, East Bernard, Wallace, anywhere around Katy. I really like helping buyers and sellers just figure out the process and get through everything. Some people don't know where to start at all. So that's what I'm here for, to help everybody figure out how to maneuver through the home buying or selling process. I am certified as a seller representative specialist through Realtor and NAR. So, yeah, I really...
What does that mean? Certified seller specialist. What does that mean?
Certified seller representative specialist. So I went through an 18-hour course to know everything about what the strategy and how to get through how to get a seller from point A to point B the best way with their property.
Okay, and that's a designation that you've earned now that you've taken the course. And
right.
It's as you could say if somebody asked you what sets you apart. There you go. Mm-hmm. Awesome. And let's talk a little bit about something that you're doing for your current client that you're working with up in Alaska. You came to me a little bit early before we did a podcast today to do a net sheet. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell everybody what that is and how that can help them in this process?
Yeah, so a lot of times you have clients ask you, like, how much am I going to be expected to bring to closing? So Stewart Title has this little nifty tool on their website that you can go to, and you can fill out everything, and you can get pretty close. I mean, if you have the property address that they're going to be selling at, you can get really close to what the dollar amount is. I mean, you might be off by a little bit, and you can always, fill that in as a disclaimer when you send it to your clients, but you can get pretty close of how much your client is going to have to bring to the table when they are buying, or if they're selling, how much they're going to receive at the closing whenever they're done and signed all their documents at the closing table. So you have that really nifty tool at the Stewart website to figure out for your clients what they're either going to be expecting in a deposit when they sell their house, or what they're going to have to show up at the closing with. And that's a really helpful tool to give insight to your client when you're working through a process, because a lot of times they do want to know. They don't want to, and it's before they get to actually being under title. They want to know, okay, if we buy this, about how much would we have to come to closing with? So it really helps a lot.
And it is only an estimate, but it is really, really close.
Yes.
And what are some of the things that are in the net sheet? Taxes and
so your taxes, and just make sure you can go to the property address for the tax rate on HAR or wherever you're listing, and see what the tax rate is and plug that in. And if you have an estimated close date, it'll calculate all that. Homeowners insurance, taxes, if they're going to have to buy a survey or not is included in there. All kind of things are included. If they have to pay buyer's commission or not, it's included in there.
HOA dues.
Yeah, all your HOA dues, transfer fee if that's necessary. It's all listed in there. So it's almost as if you were the escrow officer going in and plugging in numbers, but you're doing it yourself for your client before they get under a contract, or even while they are in contract, before the title company gives it to them, so that they have a rough estimate. And always tell your clients, this is not an exact number. This is a rough estimate. I am not an escrow officer, but I've used this, and it's pretty close, but it's not exact.
Yeah, it's going to get you well within the ballpark.
Yeah.
And a lot of agents will call me. They don't always come to the office like you did, but they'll call me and say, hey, my client's fixing to sell or buy this property. Can you give me a net sheet for what they're going to need when they get to closing table? And I just go to the website and plug in the numbers, and there you go. So
I did it myself, but it was the first time I've done it, because I've just never really had to do it yet. But it was very handy for these current buyers that I'm working with. And I did it myself first, but I wasn't sure if I was right. And so that's why I wanted, because I would hate to tell a number to my clients that's thousands of dollars off. So I wanted to do it in person with you first to make sure.
She was actually really close to the number.
Yeah, I was like within $5.
Oh, well, then that's, I don't know if it was that close, but
I was
close.
Really close. Yeah, I really was.
So, okay, good. So we got a great tool that you can go to on the Stewart Title website, or you can just give me a call, and I'll be happy to do it for you. Let's change gears a little bit and talk a little bit about you're pretty active in marketing your business. Some things you do that we've done and worked on together, and some things you do that are unique. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Well, one thing that I have been working on that we're doing together is I've been making videos. So I think we have a meeting next week. I'll have a bunch of videos ready for us to look at, and I'm going to try to start uploading those to different forms of social media, YouTube, my Google business account, different places, because I've got to try to figure out a way to get out there more. And then some of the other things that I do is I do have an agent-branded magazine that I send out every 2 months.
This is very interesting, guys.
So it's very professional. It's very well put together. It is like it comes directly from me, but I have a company do it. It's got several pages of articles, all kinds of stuff. But it's just something, to send to my client base that lets them know that I'm still thinking about them. And I do go in and it's not like just a pre-done thing. I go in and I pick out what's going to be in the magazine and all that stuff. So, and my clients love it. So I get a lot of.
What are some of the things that are in the magazine?
It depends on the season, but so now the new one that's coming out is going to be all about spring. So it's spring, and then there's a bunch of recipes in there, the different things you could do around your house, what season it is.
So it's not
holiday.
It's not necessarily a real estate magazine. It's more of a home kind of
Yeah,
magazine.
it's more of a home kind of thing, but coming from me as a real estate agent.
And it's got your picture on it and your contact information. It's branded with her logo, which is very important if you're a real estate agent. You need your own brand. And so she's doing it. She's got some really cool stuff out there. We're also working on your CRM. And she's all over social media. Don't you have a website?
I do have a website.
She has a beautiful website. So yeah, she's got it all out there. So if you're looking, go ahead.
I have my Texas Roadhouse
That's right.
agent branded gift cards that I give out to my clients. So it's a gift card to Texas Roadhouse, but it's got my logo all over it. So yeah.
So it's if you guys don't know, Texas Roadhouse is a steakhouse. It's a restaurant, and she gives these gift cards out that have her branding on it for Texas Roadhouse. So you could go eat at Texas Roadhouse and use a gift card, but it's got her branding on it. So I don't know any other agents to do that. That's pretty interesting. Don't your daughters work at Texas Roadhouse?
My daughter is the marketing rep
Well,
for our local Texas Roadhouse. So yeah, she's the marketing rep for that particular restaurant. So it's easy for me to figure out ways to market through them, which I've done more than that too. I mean, you can go into Texas Roadhouse and they have screens everywhere. My name and logo is one that rotates through while people are eating. Yeah.
Pretty cool. And why is this a good idea? Why do you brand gift cards for Texas Roadhouse? What's the purpose?
Well, I mean, it gives them exposure. Plus, it's great because it lets your clients go out and enjoy a meal, and while they're handing it over, they remember, oh, this came from Sara. So, I mean, I just think it's a great two-way street. It helps Texas Roadhouse. It helps me, and I think it's unique. Like, it's better than just going and getting a $50 Visa gift card.
Well, the thing that comes to mind for me is you're actually contributing to or giving back to the community.
Yes.
That's what for me, that's what it's all about. So if you're a real estate agent and you're not doing these kinds of things, these things do work. People do remember them when these things happen. The idea about marketing is not what you're doing. It's being consistent and doing it all the time. Getting your face out there, being in front of people, getting your brand out there. So when people decide that they need real estate, they think of you.
Yeah, they remember you.
So it's not your future client's responsibility to remember you're in real estate. It's your responsibility as a business owner to keep reminding your future clients that you are in real estate, because statistically, 75 to 85% of the people that you meet in your real estate business every day don't need real estate the day you meet them.
Oh, yeah, no. They definitely
need it
don't.
later. They need it when something in their life changes, and that's when they decide they need a real estate agent, and that's hopefully when they'll remember you.
Yeah. Or when their friend needs a real estate agent to say to their friend, oh, my real estate agent is really great. Call her, you know. Their
friends, their relatives, their sons, their daughters. So this is basically called reminder advertising or branding. And there's not another company out there that doesn't have a brand and people don't recognize, you know. So, and she's doing a great job at it. So she's got her own company name, her own logo, her own brand. I helped her come up with it. But she's got it, and
that's why he gets one of my magazines.
Yeah, I do. We get a magazine in my house every time she sends it out. So, and my beautiful girlfriend Wynn loves reading it. That's Sara. That's the Mercedes girl. Oh, now she's got a Lexus.
That's why she drives a Mercedes.
Yeah, she drives a Mercedes. So, let's switch gears just for a couple of minutes. What do you think about? What's your prognosis of the market for 2025?
I think, I think it's already starting to get a little bit better. I think the summer will be good, which, starts to kick off in March, April. I think it'll start getting busier. I think it'll be a busy summer. And then, think it's just going to be I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was last year. I think it's going to be better than it was last year. You know, and then once you hit August, September, it starts slowing down again. But I think that this summer will be a good summer.
If any indications are what's been going on, at least with my offices, 2 offices in the last couple of weeks, we're going to be busy.
Yeah, I mean, once January came around, it started picking up. So I think, you know, as the months progress, we're, of course, done with February now. It's the end of the month. But I think March, April will slowly, you know, rise even more. And then June, July, August will be banging, and then it'll start to trickle back down the last quarter.
Yeah, so if you're a real estate agent out there and you're waiting for business, if you're not prepared marketing-wise like Sara is, then you're going to have to keep waiting. So the downtime in between Christmas and New Year's, the beginning of the year, is the best time for you to get your marketing together and get everything ramped up. So when the spring and summer months roll around and it starts to get busier, you'll be able to handle and you'll actually be getting leads.
And right now is the time to start, because right now is when people are going to start thinking about, okay, we need to get our house ready to put on the market because summer is getting here, or we need to get ready to start looking around because summer is getting here. And everybody knows that, you know, April, May, June, July, August, those are the big months in real estate. So right now is when everybody needs to start preparing.
Most people with kids move in the summer because they're not in school.
Yes.
So that's what's coming up. Tell everybody what they can expect from Sara Goetz as if they hire you to be their realtor.
So as a seller, I walk you through the whole process. I give you a list of everything that you need to do pre-listing, like get your house ready, the things that you need to do to get your house ready. I have even been known to go in and do renovations myself.
I can second that. She does. Yeah.
Yeah. I want a house to look great when it hits the market, because I want it to
and smell great.
Yes, look and smell great. And because I don't, you know, I want your house to sell as quick as possible, and I want to get the best offer that is out there. So yeah, I am known to make sure that everything is done. And then once we get it on the market, I will definitely negotiate with any offers received to get the best offer for you and follow you all the way to the closing table. As a buyer, I prepare you on what you need to do. You need to get pre-approved. You need to fill out a form to let me know exactly what you want in a house. Do you want this, X, Y, or Z? What's really important to you and what's low priority to you? And what you need to do to be able to prepare to put an offer in as soon as you find a house that you like, because you're not going to be able to sit around and then start the process. You need to go in houses pre-approved and ready to submit an offer, because sometimes houses don't last until the time you get home, and then it's already under contract. So you need to be ready. And yeah, I provide service from A to Z for my buyers and my sellers.
So if a buyer comes to you and says, I want to buy a home, but I don't know if I'm ready financially or credit-wise, do you have relationships with vendors that can help them get to the point where they can?
I do. I have relationships with several lenders. You know, I have inspectors. I have everything that you could possibly need. I have relationships for both buyers and sellers. If you don't know what your house is worth and you're thinking about selling it, you can, you know, look, and a lot of people get a pre-appraisal so they can make sure that their house is going to sell for what they want and not be under appraised when it comes to the buyer getting an appraisal on it, and then it comes back appraised way lower than what the seller wanted to put it on the market for. Then you're stuck because you're under a contract for what somebody did, and then it comes back appraised really low. So then you're like, what do you have to do? So I can prepare a seller 100% to make sure they get the right sales price and get the right deal for their house, and I can help a buyer make sure they put in an offer that's realistic but also good, and get all the way to the closing table.
And so what answer would you give to somebody that asks you when is the best time to buy?
The best time to buy is right now.
There you go. Marry the house and date the rate.
That's right. You can always refinance. You can always figure out things to do. The best time to buy is right now.
Awesome. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
You can contact me, Sara Goetz, at Walzel Properties. My phone number is 832-344-8340. My email is saragoetz.realtor@gmail.com. And you can call or text me or email me.
Just so whoever doesn't know, make sure that you give them the spelling for.
Yes, it's saragoetz.realtor@gmail.com.
There's an E in the goats.
Yes, there's an E.
Okay, so guys, if you're just seeing Sarah for the first time, I don't understand why. She's at all my events. She comes to been on the podcast 3 times now, I think. And she's a very good, loyal customer for us, client. She closes with Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin. She has got a lot of experience for the amount of time that she's been in the real estate industry. She knows Fort Wayne County like the back of her hand, but she can also help you pretty much anywhere in the city of Houston or the surrounding area.
Or the surrounding areas is like, right now.
On Alaska, Texas. If you guys don't know where that is north of the Woodlands.
Yes,
going
it
out
is by
59.
Livingston. It is far.
Yeah, so it's about from here, depending on traffic, an hour and a half to 2 hours from here.
Yeah, I left my house at 7:30 and I showed up at the listing at 10:03. So
that's 2.5 hours.
It was morning traffic through Houston. It's not fun.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wow. Okay, so phone number one more time.
832-344-8340.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Being a great sport. You guys, this has been episode number 88 of Kevin's Corner, Real Estate from a Marketing Perspective. A lot of good marketing tips today, a lot of good things to talk about. If you're a real estate agent and you need a net sheet, let me know. Give me a call. And if you're a real estate agent and you're not using Stewart Title, shame on you.
They're the best.
That's what she says. I'm biased, but she thinks so too. And if you're an agent or a vendor and you want to be on the podcast, 832-654-0527. And thank you to Jennifer Smitis, Caitlin Kornick, Devin, Van Wynn, Anna Ditmore, and Kate Cannon in Richmond for you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, this podcast would not be possible. So we see you guys next week. Until then, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great weekend.